Hey everybody, it's Dalton. Hope everybody's doing good. Back out here at the lake fishing, and today what I want to do is I want to share with you a trailer for a jig that I've never tried before. I went to a store, I saw a couple of packs there, so I bought like 2 or 3 packs, and I am totally impressed with this jig trailer, or I'm using it as a jig trailer. Right off the bat today, I started getting bites on a Swimbait again. That time we got it. I got another one here on a Swimbait, and one of them earlier jumped out of the water and got away from me. And this one here's a nice fighter. Not sure how big he is yet. No, he's not bad at all. He's trying to jump off as well, so I'm trying to keep him from doing that so I can get him in the boat. There you go. Not bad at all. So what I was doing was I was throwing a Strike King. This guy's show you the other side. Looks like this guy's been in a fight. I was throwing a Strike King Rage Swimmer, a little 2.75, and they were biting it like crazy. The problem is they were biting the tail right off. And even with this one, that fish right there took a minute or a little bit to actually get to the hook. He kept pecking at it. And what they're doing right now is, as I hang out in this area, and I'm going to tell you why I'm staying in this area today. I'll tell you just in a few minutes. But as I stay in this area, I wait for them, and they start jumping to the surface feeding on shad. I throw this right under the surface, and they'll go after it. So I'm throwing this one on a 12-pound test. I've got a 3/8 ounce jig head, and you know, the Mayer Swimbait that I like so much. I'm using 12-pound test, using my cranking rod. I want to get really long casts because sometimes they're out there chasing bait and I want to get to them. And then, and if I want to get it down a little bit deeper, I can do it pretty easy. So here in a little bit, I'll tell you why I'm staying in this area. Okay, so this area that I'm hanging out at right now, I've been hanging out here almost the entire time I've been here, and there's a reason for it. Last week, when I was at Lake Nacimiento, my crank battery died on me. It was about time. It's been a couple of years. There was a couple little warning signs, but every time I got home, I forgot about it. So somebody came by, gave me a jump so I could get back in because I was a few miles away from the ramp. Now, I go home, I get a brand new battery. I go to start the boat, it won't start. In fact, it's blowing the fuse. It keeps blowing a fuse. Now, I don't know anything about the electrical parts, so I'm not gonna mess with it. Next week, I have my annual appointment for my oil change on my boat, and I'm just gonna have that fixed as well. It may be minor, maybe not, I really don't know. It could have happened when I got the jump out there. I'm not sure. I've looked at as much as I know what to look at and that I'm comfortable looking at. But needless to say, here's what I'm doing. In order to get anywhere, guess what? Manual start. Yeah, this is what I have to do right here. Cover's right there. There's another cover that comes off. Got the rope wrapped around. Here we go. Today I want to introduce you to a jig trailer. Maybe you've already been using it, and some of you I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, it's a really good jig trailer. And what I'm throwing here is a black and blue jig. Got him. I got him. I got him. I got him. There's a nice fat one. Good chunky bass on a jig. That'll work. Very healthy. These guys, he's got a big old shad in his mouth. Beautiful fish. Started throwing a jig out here, and I figure it's getting pretty close to jig season. Of course, year-round is jig season, but in the fall, as we slowly approach the winter months, I will tend to throw a jig more. Just seems like I catch more fish. And this trailer, this is an awesome trailer. Okay, let's talk about this. This particular jig trailer is called a Turbo Craws, made by Z-Man. This one here is black and blue. Now this is a 4-inch craw style bait. Of course, the Elastec lasts really good. And what I did was I put it with a 1/2 ounce ball head jig. This is made by Boss Jigs. I like these ball head jigs. I use them all the time. I get them through Tackle Warehouse. And what I do is I get my own, my own skirting material, and I put together my own colors. This one here is black and blue, and then of course I put this jig trailer on there, and it's a nice complement to it. Now this has a good bait keeper on it, this particular jig, but I went ahead and put some super glue just for a little extra strength as far as keeping the bait on. I did trim it just a little bit, probably about 1/4 of an inch. Now here's what I like about this bait, and I'm telling you, when I put the boat in and I threw this bait in the water, I was like, okay, I'm sold on this thing already. Just looking at it, I'm already sold. It literally, because of the buoyancy of this plastic, it stands this jig straight up. At least this ball head it does. It stands it straight up, and as I'm moving it, those legs are kicking the entire time. So it's a jig that has a lot of action, but it also stands up in the water, and I like that a lot. Now what I threw it on today, this is a Daiwa Tatula reel, and then I've got a medium heavy action rod. This is a custom rod that I had built, and this is 15-pound test Seagar and Vizix, and that's what I threw it. And the way I worked this thing, pretty much, I would throw it out. I was working it kind of deep today, and I would just slowly crawl it along, and then every once in a while I'd take that slack and I'd jump that slack. That bait would jump off the bottom about 1 foot or so, head first down, standing straight up. And sometimes that's how I got bites. So I definitely recommend this jig trailer. I think you guys will like it. I don't know if you've used it yet. Get you a pack, give it a try, let me know. It's pretty good. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you next time.